Chapter 1. It's been 3 months since they talked about having a baby. Lisa and Jenny have been trying for a baby ever since. Honey, I'm home, Lisa calls out to Jenny as she comes home from work. Jenny? She calls without hearing an answer. Lisa takes off her jacket and hangs it on the hanger. Lisa enters the living room and she frowns as she gets no response from her wife. Babe, are you at home? Yes, I'm just in the bathroom. I'll be out in a minute. Jenny calls back from inside the bathroom. After hearing Jenny's response, Lisa sat down on the couch. Meanwhile, Jenny sat on the toilet and stared at the object in her hand. She had been nauseous for a month and her period was late. Today, she decided to check it out, so she went to the store and bought the pregnancy test she needed. Tears welled up in her eyes, but they weren't tears of sadness, but tears of joy. I'm pregnant, she thought and smiled. She got up quickly and ran out of the bathroom. When she ran into the living room, she saw her wife sitting on the couch watching a movie. Lisa, Jenny said with tears on her cheeks. At the mention of her name, Lisa turned to Jenny, and when Lisa saw tears flowing from her phoenix eyes, she quickly stood up. Jen, what happened? She asked with concern in her voice. Nothing, just... Jenny showed her the object in her hand. Lisa frowned. She took the stick from Jenny's hand and looked at it. What is it? Pregnancy test. Jenny replied. You're pregnant? Lisa asked, and Jenny nodded her head. Tears welled up in Lisa's eyes. Really? Yes, we're expecting our first child together. Lisa smiles and pulls Jenny into a hug. We're having a baby. Jenny giggled at her wife's excitement. I can't wait. Lisa murmured. Me too. Jenny grabbed Lisa's hand and placed it on her stomach. Lisa smiled and bent down to her stomach and kissed there. We're going to be the best parents ever. We will be. Lisa and Jenny decided to tell their families that they were expecting a baby, but they just didn't know how. Lisa just wanted to tell them, but Jenny wanted to do it in a more creative way. Babe, why don't we just tell them? Your father will kill me anyway. Jenny rolled her eyes at the second part of the sentence. He won't kill you, Lisa. He hates me, Jenny. Of course he'll kill me, she said dramatically. Jenny walked over to her wife and kissed her on the cheek. You're too dramatic. Even though she was laughing, Jenny knew Lisa was right. Mr. Kim hated Lisa. He didn't think Lisa was right for his daughter and showed it in various ways. Lisa snorted. It doesn't matter. You won't understand anyway. She wanted to go from the bedroom to the kitchen so as not to continue the conversation, but Jenny's hand on her chest prevented her from doing so. Lisa, babe, don't be mad at me. Please? Jenny made dog eyes. The other woman sighed. The phoenix-eyed woman moved her hand so that it was on the nape of Lisa's neck. You know I love you, right? The shorter woman asked. I know. And I love you too. Jenny then pulled her wife in for a kiss. As they pulled apart, Jenny's attention was drawn to a framed photo on one of the shelves. An idea popped into her head. I think I know how we can announce my pregnancy. How? The shorter woman smiled and began to explain her idea. One night, Jenny invited her parents for dinner. Lisa was terribly nervous about meeting her wife's father. She knows Woobin will be angry. He never liked her. Even on the first meeting, he didn't give her a chance. Dad, please be nice to her. The phoenix-eyed girl once again asked her father. Her father and her girlfriend were supposed to meet for the first time today. Jenny's father never liked his daughter's partners. It didn't matter if it was a boy or a girl, they weren't right for his daughter. He was always overprotective, and Jenny hated that. I don't promise anything, answered the man. Jenny rolled her eyes. Dad, please be nice. She tried once more. Woobin sighed and said, Okay, I'll try to be nice, but... A knock on the door interrupted him. She's already here, Jenny said, slightly concerned. She smoothed down the dress she was wearing and ran to open the door. The dress Jenny was wearing was plain. The dress was white and reached Jenny's knees. She didn't want to look too elegant, but she also wanted to look good for her girlfriend. Jenny put her hand on the doorknob, but took a deep breath before opening the door. When the shorter girl opened the door, she saw her girlfriend, who looked really good. Lisa was wearing a white button-up shirt and blue jeans, holding a bouquet of red roses in her hand. Hi. Hi, Lisa, with her gummy smile. The woman opened the door wider and stepped aside to allow Lisa to enter. Come in. The younger girl entered Kim's house. Jenny closed the door behind the girl. Lisa turned to the phoenix-eyed girl and kissed her on the lips. I missed you, babe. We saw each other yesterday, Jenny said jokingly. Lisa rolled her eyes. You could say you miss me too. Jenny laughed. Come on, my parents want to finally meet you. Jenny grabbed Lisa's hand and led her into the living room. The younger woman groaned but followed her girlfriend politely. As they entered the living room, Lisa saw Jenny's parents sitting on the couch. When they both noticed the presence of the two girls, Jenny's mother, Min-ah, got up from the couch. Oh, hello, Min-ah said. Good morning, Mrs. Kim. This is for the lady, please. The girl gave the woman flowers. Thank you, darling. You didn't have to. Min-ah took the flowers and smiled warmly. Lisa blushed, wanted to say something, but was interrupted by someone's grunt. She turned that way. The man who had grunted stood up. His expression showed dislike for Lisa. Good morning, sir, she said, slightly annoyed. She held out her hand for him to shake it, but he didn't. After a moment, Lisa awkwardly scratched the back of her neck. The man snorted and turned on his heel to leave. Wu Bin. Min-ah scolded him, but Wu Bin ignored her. I apologize for him. Min-ah put a comforting hand on Lisa's shoulder before she went to talk to her husband. Jenny sighed at the memory. She remembered the sadness on her wife's face that day. She was always blaming herself for doing something wrong. But Jenny knew it wasn't Lisa's fault. It was her stubborn father who couldn't bear to see his little girl grow up. Lisa got nervous when she heard the doorbell ring. She knew it was Jenny's parents who had come. Babe, will you open the door? Hearing her wife's question, she groaned but went to open the door for her in-laws. Before opening the door, Lisa took a deep breath to calm herself down before meeting Wu Bin. It won't be a nice meeting, she thought. Lisa opened the door and her eyes saw her beloved's parents. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Kim. Minna smiled at the woman. Hello, Lisa. How many times do I have to tell you to call me Minna? Minna asked, jokingly. Lisa smiled and was about to answer the woman when Wu Bin suddenly spoke up. Are you going to let us in, or are we just going to stand there? Yes, Sorry. I'm letting you in now. Lisa stammered and moved over so the in-laws could enter. Inside, Jenny's father turned to Lisa. Where's my daughter? He asked. I'm here, Dad. The three of them turned to where the voice comes from and see Jenny descending the stairs. The father smiled when he saw his daughter. Hello, guys. Jenny first approached her father, who immediately took her in a bear hug. As they pulled apart, Jenny hugged her mother. Hi, Mommy. Annyeong, ne saranghae는 tital. Hello, my darling daughter in Korean. Let's go to the dining room. The food is ready. They all went to the dining room. Lisa and her wife went to the kitchen to fetch food, plates, and cutlery. Minna helped them with this. When everything was brought in, everyone sat down at the table. Lisa and Jenny sat to each other. Minna sat across from Jenny, and Wu Bin sat at the table on the edge of the table. Jenny couldn't wait to tell her parents that she and Lisa were expecting a baby. So after everyone had eaten, she excitedly announced to her parents that they had to go to the living room so she could tell and show them something. Wu Bin and Min-ah looked at each other confused as to why their daughter was acting like this. What's happening? Min-ah asked her daughter-in-law. Lisa just shrugged and replied, You will see. And she smiled. They all entered the living room and Mr. and Mrs. Kim sat down on the couch, where Jenny motioned for them to sit down. Will you finally tell us what it's all about? Wu Bin asked, slightly annoyed by all this. Maybe our daughter has finally opened her eyes and they're getting a divorce, Wu Bin muttered to his wife. You're terrible, Wu Bin. She hit him on the arm. Jenny left the living room for a moment, ignoring her father's behavior, leaving Lisa alone. Lisa cleared her throat to get their attention, not knowing what they were talking about. She was afraid of their reaction, and more of the reaction of the man who doesn't like her. Now he looked at her with contempt as usual. Lisa knew that Minna would be happy to hear about the baby. She had been asking for some time if they planned to have children at all. "Calm down, it's not a bad thing," said the woman, seeing the nervousness on the faces of her guests. Jenny went to the bedroom to get a present for her parents. She walked over to the drawer. Phoenix-eyed opened a drawer and took out a box with a gift inside. She smiled. She got the gift idea for her mom after seeing a picture of her and Lisa wearing birthday hats. It was Jenny's 20th birthday. After seeing this photo, Jenny remembered that her mother had a birthday soon, so she thought it would be the perfect opportunity to announce her pregnancy. The shorter girl took the box and went with it to the living room, where her parents and her wife were still waiting for her. As she entered the living room, everyone turned to her. Jenny smiled at her wife, and she smiled back. Then Jenny turned to her mother, who was still sitting on the couch. Min-ah stood up, and Jenny handed her a small box. "Happy birthday, Mom." Min-ah looked surprised. "Happy birthday," Lisa added with a smile. "But my birthday is in 2 days," she said. They just shrugged. "Just open it already." Woo-bin interjected, and Min-ah rolled her eyes. "You're so impatient, honey." The older woman turned and placed the box on the coffee table by the couch. Min-ah sat down and opened the box. Woo-bin slid over on the couch to his wife to see what was in the box. She took a mug out of the box. "Mug?" She looked questioningly at her daughter. She looked at the mug again and saw that something, "Happy birthday, Grandma." She read it aloud. Min-ah was confused, but after a while she understood. Min-ah looked at Jenny and her eyes glazed over. "Really?" she asked, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her daughter nodded yes. Lisa put her arm around Jenny's waist and she smiled too. "Am I the only one who doesn't understand what's going on?" Woo-bin asked, confused. All the women giggled at the man's expression. After a while, Lisa decided to explain what was going on. "Sir, your daughter is pregnant." There was a deafening silence in the room until suddenly, "What?" Everyone fell silent again, not knowing what to say. Woo-bin got up from the couch and walked over to his daughter's wife. He didn't know if he was happier to finally have a grandson or furious that Lisa was the second parent to his grandson or granddaughter. "Dad, take it easy." Jenny stepped between them to stop the older man. "How can be calm when my little daughter is pregnant?" He looked at his daughter. "I'm 26, Dad. I'm not a child," she said to him. Woo-bin looked into Lisa's eyes and she looked back. He was about to say something, but his wife's sobs interrupted him. Everyone looked at Min-ah. "Mom, I'm sorry. I'm just really happy to finally be a grandma." The woman wiped her tears of emotion and smiled, then looked at her husband. "Woo-bin, can you finally calm down? Your daughter is pregnant. You're going to be a grandfather, and instead of enjoying yourself, you're making a fuss." Lisa and Jenny smiled at Min-ah's words. Min-ah opened her arms, signaling them to hug her, which both women gladly did. When they pulled away, Min-ah said to Lisa, "Take care of them." She nodded. "Don't worry, we'll make it." Woo-bin snorted. "I bet as soon as that baby is born, you'll come crying to us because she'll leave you." Everyone looked at him. Lisa felt the urge to hit him. She clenched her fists and took a step towards him. "What is your problem?" Lisa was face to face with him, very close. "Lisa." She heard Jenny say her name but ignored it. She was fed up with this man. She understood that he might not like her, but that comment was an exaggeration. "I do not have any problem." He smiled fakery at her. "But I don't think you can support this family. Jenny will understand sooner or later," he said, pressing his finger against her chest. "Dad." Woo-bin. Min-ah and Jenny screamed at the same time. Lisa wanted to really hit him now, but she knew Jenny would be furious with her later, nor did she want to start a fight with her wife's father. She turned and left the room to cool off. "You're an idiot, Woobin," Minna said to her husband. "You know I'm right," he replied. "I think you better get out." He heard his daughter speak. "With pleasure," and he went to the exit. Minna looked at her daughter and smiled sadly. "I'm sorry for him." "No, Mom, don't apologize. He should do it." Jenny walked over to her mother and hugged her. Minna stroked her daughter's hair and kissed her head. They said goodbye, and Minna left. When Jenny was left alone in the living room, she broke down. She didn't expect it to end so badly. 3 months later. "Babe, wake up." Lisa woke up when she felt someone poking her and talking to her. She did not open her eyes, not wanting to get up. "Lisa, honey, wake up." This time she felt a tap on her cheek. Jenny began to place kisses on Lisa's neck when she saw that poking her wouldn't do anything. "Jen, stop." "So wake up," she said, now kissing Lisa on the face. The woman groaned and rolled over onto her side to continue her sleep. "Lisa." Now nervousness could be heard in Jenny's voice. "Go to sleep, Jen. It's too early." The phoenix-eyed woman snorted at her wife's words. Lisa already felt she was falling asleep again when she felt a tap on her cheek. She rolled onto her back, opened her eyes, and saw Jenny's sulky face. "What?" Lisa asked her. "I'm hungry," the phoenix-eyed woman said and cupped Lisa's face in her hands. The Jenny rubbed her thumb on Lisa's cheek tenderly. "I want some orange." Lisa yawned. "Can't you wait until the morning?" She felt a blow to her chest and groaned. "No, your child wants to eat now." Lisa looked at her wife's slightly visible pregnant belly and placed her hand on it. Jenny smiled and rested her forehead against Lisa's. "Go get some downstairs," Lisa said, and Jenny nodded and she slowly slid off the bed. Jenny went downstairs and headed to the kitchen to find her oranges. When she opened the fridge and saw that her orange was missing, tears filled her eyes. She slammed the refrigerator door loudly and ran upstairs. Lisa heard her wife's quick footsteps. She sat down and saw her Jenny crying. "What happened?" Lisa asked, and Jenny walked over to her. Jenny rested her head on Lisa's shoulder. Jenny's moods have been really shitty these past month. "There are no oranges." She says it in such a tone as if all mankind would perish for lack of oranges. Lisa giggled and Jenny slapped her shoulder. "Ouch! Do not laugh at me." Lisa rubbed her aching arm. "I'm sure I recently bought oranges." Jenny rolled her eyes on Lisa. "How come you ate all the oranges?" Lisa said it more to herself than Jenny, but the phoenix-eyed woman heard it anyway. "I was hungry." Lisa smiled. "Okay, I'll buy you some in the morning. Now let's go back to sleep." "But I'm hungry." She groaned and stuffed her face on Lisa's neck. "Jenny, remember we live in Seoul, not in Jeju, because it's 3 in the morning? Where do we find the fucking oranges?" Lisa asked, and Jenny pulled away. "I don't know. Maybe in a store?" she asked sarcastically. Jenny lay on her back on our soft mattress. "Can't you wait? I'll buy you a whole basket of oranges in the morning." Lisa lay down and was about to close her eyes when she felt a poke on her cheek. "Please, babe, I think I'm going to die in hunger," she said dramatically. Lisa sighed and sat up. "I'm going now, babe. I'll be back." She put on a sweatpants and grabbed keys and wallet. Lisa kissed Jenny's lips and she pecks it again. "I love you." "Love you too."